is Andres Nava. I work in the Department of Horticulture. Liz is my mentor, and this is my first year in college first. I'm about to become a junior in Shurz High School. Before I start my presentation, take note that I did take some photos of my project, and I'm not the best photographer here, so bear with me. Oh yeah, and my title is Organic Control Blackspot. So Blackspot, scientifically known as the carbon rosé, it's an asexual fungus that attacks the leaves of various rose species. Although rose cultivars show great resistance to blackspot, hybrid tea roses are actually very susceptible to the disease. And depending on how the infection works, depends on population differences and geographic areas. Symptoms of black spot, black to brown lesions form in a circular to irregular shapes causing massive chlorosis, which is the yellowing right here. If left untreated, the plant is actually forced to shed its leaves, which is actually very unsuccessful. And it causes to repeated defoliation, less blooming, and greater sensitivity to other stresses. The Marsonia rosé is actually the name of the disease cycle, the way it produces, and the way it produces actually, it's born after a host is already died and infected of black spot. It stays dormant on the leaf during the winter, and when spring starts to come, it'll feel the temperature change, and elements such as wind and water will actually carry it. And once it affects the host, it immediately starts to infect it day one. Symptoms will start to show 4 to 5 days and produce new spores in 10 to 11 days. So my question is, which organic fungicide is better suited to combat black spot, which will be less harmful to the plant? And in my opinion, the baking soda will be better suited. Why is it important? Organic fungicides do not have as much of an impact on the environment and are much more cost efficient than other hazardous pesticides. My materials consisted of 4 fungicides and water, and each container of fungicides actually contained 500 milliliters of water, 1.5 tablespoons of the actual fungicide. There's a patch rose shrubs here in the Botanic Garden. It's pretty isolated, and that's actually infected with black spot, and a camera notebook. So my experimental procedure, I chose 5 rose shrubs and selected 3 leaves of each shrub. 1 leaf having almost no black spot, 1 leaf having moderate amount of black spot, and a leaf severely infected with black spot. And each was sprayed twice a week for 3 weeks. So some of the fungicides I used was garlic fungicide. This is pretty much from here, that's one. And the ingredients were hot peppers, which mainly I was using for caspian. That's the property of peppers that attacks fungicides. Lemon, citric acid is the property, and it creates conditions impossible for the fungus to flourish. And garlic, there's a property in garlic called allicin, which is the natural defense mechanism for pests. Another one is baking soda, and it disrupts the potassium ion balance within the fungal cell. Vinegar, the acetic acid, is an organic compound that changes the pH balance of the fungus. And I know it's not much of a fungicide to you guys, but it, stuff like shampoo, detergent actually is used, and it disrupts fungal cell membranes. So this is my data analysis again, my pictures, bear with me. So this is the garlic treatment. Now, even though it didn't completely eliminate black spot, I used 3 weeks of my program to test it. This is the leaf I was treating right here, and you can see there's really no much of a difference, but it did prevent further infection. The baking soda one, I actually chose this leaf right here because it was actually surrounded by severely infected leaves, and this one actually showed resistance to it, so I showed it, I used it. And this is after 3 weeks, and I was actually quite disappointed because after 3 weeks, I was hoping to see improvement. And there was actually, although there was no further infection, nothing really happened. And there was actually a rain last week in the Botanic Garden, about 3 inches. So I went back to the patch and I came to find this. So baking soda actually didn't do much of a good job. So vinegar here actually showed the best improvements actually. This was when I first started right here, and as you can see right here, this black spot is actually gone, the spore. And right here, the spores next to the big one is actually gone as well. So this is actually the one that resulted in improvements. Now, water is actually a good thing for funguses, so I posted it as a negative control. And I chose a severely infected leaf right here, and this is after 3 weeks. And this one actually became so infected that the leaf fell off. Shampoo, I really didn't know what to expect from shampoo, but this is the beginning, and this is what happened after 3 weeks, so it actually accelerated the growth. So my hypothesis was not supported by this project. Vinegar was actually the most effective fungicide in treating black spot without harming the shrub. Sources of problems, timing. I actually ran through a few problems during my program, so I was only able to use 3 weeks of my program. And proper documentation. When you take pictures, make sure you double check before you present them to people you don't know. I want to thank Ben and Murphy for helping my project. They were very patient. I also want to thank Tom for taking some time to discuss with me about my project, Liz and Ed for being so supportive. Lastly, I would also like to thank Shelly for giving me the opportunity to experience the College First program. You guys, you were so nice.